Hi guys, my name is Mayana. Welcome to Maya Core. Today I'm going to be doing a huge book unhaul. I don't know when I'm going to be uploading this because I'm kind of just filming this just to have it like here. I recently downloaded this app called BookBuddy. No, this is not sponsored. I just want to share this app with you guys. Although I will say that if you have over like 50 books, then you have to pay like $4.99 for it. Personally, I think it's worth it, but I also haven't tried out any other apps. But I did this one because I love being organized. I'm a Virgo. I really love like organizing my things. I can't see all of my books because I have like multiple stacks of books, so this way I can literally like look through it and like see what I own. And that's why a lot of the times a lot of my books will go unread because they're hidden in like the back corners of things, and like I'll forget that I own them. And so by this way I can see like what is unread. I do have an unread folder on my Goodreads, but this way I can also just see what I own that I can't see as well. And I really like the app because it tells you how many books you have that are read versus unread. You can put books into like series on your own. You can scan them in. That's how I did most of these. I scanned them, and you can scan in multiple at once, and then you can edit them to say like if you read them. You can put how you rated a book out of 5 stars. You can also do half-star ratings. You can put notes in there. You can say that if you loan your book out to someone, and if you have their contact, then you can like put their contact in there. You can say like if you borrowed a book from the library. Like there's so much you can do on this app that I really loved. But while going through my shelves one by one, I really started to reflect on like what I want to keep and what I didn't want to keep. A lot of the times when I did unhauls, or within like the past like 2 years when I did unhauls, I would do books that like I've already like read and I just want to get rid of because I didn't love them. But because I don't really buy books as much as I used to anymore, which is like so crazy, mainly because I don't have a job. Like it's crazy with things that you stop doing when you don't have any money. But yeah, so I started like looking at like what I wanted to get rid of, and so I'm going to be getting rid of a lot of these books. And these aren't my only stacks either. I also have a stack of books behind me as well, but I couldn't fit them all on my desk. So let's just get into it. So I have How to Catch a Queen. I used to think that I was a mass market paperback girly. I remember I hauled a bunch of mass market paperbacks back in the day. Like I own a bunch of them, but I just started to like read them, and like once you start to read them like often, I start to realize that like they aren't for me. Like reading them every once in a while is fine, but reading them like often just is not for me personally. I still like mass market paperbacks. I still think they're cute. I just don't think that like they're convenient for me. And so this is the only book in the series that I own, and so I think that I want to unhaul. I have read the series and I have liked it, but I think that I'll rebuy this book if it's like in like paperback form. Oh, hello Apple. She wants to get on the desk probably. Also have Terms and Conditions, which I have read. I gave 3 out of 5 stars. I did like this book, but I didn't love this book. I don't love this series. I don't love this author. I don't like this author. I don't like her writing. I think that a lot of like romance authors out right now are not good. And I read this book because it was popular and it had a black girl in it. To be honest, let's be real. I read this book because it had reading a book because it's popular, like, okay, that's me. We all know I read books because they're popular, like, duh. But I read this book because there's a black girl in it, okay? A dark-skinned black girl at that. But I don't like this author's writing. I don't think she's good at romance, and I think that a lot of authors are getting away with writing shit and calling it romance and people giving it 5 stars. And I don't want to own this book because I don't want the other books in the series. So this is cool. And I was gonna keep it because the cover is gorgeous, but I really had to be like harsh and like real with myself, and it's just like I'm never gonna reread this book. Like it's taking up space. Like I just don't want it. I have A Phoenix Must Be Born, and during the like Black Lives Matter movement, a lot of publishers were like reaching out to black creators to like send them books and things. So I got like a bunch of stuff sent to me around that time, and I was really interested in reading them at that time. This is a short story, and I am not a short story girly. I don't know why I think that I am, but I'm not. And I keep buying short stories, and I look at them on my shelves and I'm like, girl, why did you buy this? Most of the time it's because they are promoted as Black Mirror, and that's what get me. But I'm not a short story girly. I don't know why I ever thought I was, but yeah. So I got Diary of a Wimpy Kid and Dog Days books off thrift books. I think I probably bought these for my brother, but my brother is 16 now. He has no interest in reading books, okay? He is a gamer. Literally for school, he comes to me, he's like, read this book and write a report for me. No, actually. I won't do that. It doesn't want to. And then also he grew out of these. Not only did he grow out of these, but he just doesn't want to read. And I love the Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies. I have no interest in these books. Okay, A Fate of Wrath and Flame. I liked a previous book by Kay Tucker. It's actually under her pen name. I do own another book by her, but I just don't think that, like, I know that fantasy romance is just not for me. Okay, it doesn't work for me. I don't like it. They all suck. They're all long for no reason. For no reason, like, at all. Like, there's no fucking reason why they're so long. So no, you're not about to get me. River of Royal Blood. I'm just not really into YA anymore, and that's what this is. So I don't hate YA, it's just not like my most read genre. And then honestly, when I do read YA, it's YA like contemporary, because that's my shit now. That is something that I will like during the summertime. I read a lot. I didn't really this summer, but usually during the summertime I'll read a lot of like YA contemporaries because they're so easy to get through and they're so fun. In the Ravenous Dark, I read this like last month, or I read this for Pride, and I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it, and I thought I was gonna like love this, and I just was like, it was okay. I just don't want it on my shelves. With the app, when I was like rating the books, I noticed that a majority of the books that I have, like that I own, if I've read it, a lot of the books that I own, I've given them 4 stars or 5 stars, like, or a high 3 star, like a 3.5. So it's very interesting because like a lot of these books, like I was like, when I was like putting them in the system and rating, I was like, oh my gosh, like I love this book, or oh my gosh, I love this book. And it's like, it makes me so happy to see like a lot of the books that I own I actually really do enjoy. So then I don't know, I think I'm such a critical reader that I forget, like I read a lot though, so it's like there's still a lot of books out there that like I personally have like such love for. Nettle and Bone, this was boring. If I'm being real, this was just boring. And T. Kingfisher just isn't for me, unfortunately. Icebreaker, this was, parting with this book really hurts me because I love this cover. I love the artist who does this cover, or does like these type of covers. I know a lot of people like hate these kind of cartoon covers and they're over it or whatever, and they're tired of this author specifically. I love this author. I mean, I love this artist. I love the cartoon covers. A lot of people felt this way with Charlie Bowater with the fantasy era. I fucking love Charlie Bowater. I loved Charlie Bowater. She had such a place in my heart. I will buy anything. So yeah, I just don't care for this book. I am not going to read the rest of the series unless there's magically a black girl included. That's pretty much how you get me to read anything. But these authors don't write about, like, these like popular authors, like romance authors, don't put like POC characters in their like little romance series. So I don't care, to be honest. I think that's why I haven't like read a lot of like romance recently, because a lot of romances are just white right now. Like the popular books are just white, and I just don't care. Like obviously the romance books that I have read this year have been like by women of color. Leviathan Wakes paperback, I just own this in hardcover. I own the first 3 in hardcover. Also, this has like water damage. Well, actually I don't think this one does, but my cat Apple spilled water on top of my TBR cart, so a lot of those books up there had water damage. And then I have Where Dreams Descend, and this is an ARC, but I don't have any interest in this anymore. I don't think I had, like, I don't know. It's so crazy because I've completely forgot I had this. Like a lot of the ARCs that I own, I have such like sentimental value to. Like my Vespertine arc or my Chain of Iron arc. But like when I looked at this, I was like, oh, I own this. What the heck? So yeah. Oh my god. Right on the gut. What the hell? Smoking in Bed. This is a short story, like anthology deal thing, and as I just discussed, these just aren't for me. When I bought this, I was really into like my lit fic era and like my horror era, and I'm not really in that era anymore. So I just don't have any interest in reading this right now, at least. I don't know what this is, why I own it, where I got it from. Sometimes people in my family just give me books. Sometimes, like, it'll be like my grandma or something, and she'll be like, here you go, and I'll be like, what the hell is this? Like, I think people think just because I'm a reader they can just give me things, so I don't know where this came from or why I own it. I'm gonna be so real. This book was the worst. No, I'm just playing. I have all of these. I have the entire quartet in hardcover. This was in my last unhaul. Somehow it snuck its way back into my room. I don't know. She's stubborn, but I'm getting rid of her. I'm getting rid of her. I'm just not really into YA anymore. That's all. This has severe water damage. I love this TV show. This is one of my favorite TV shows of all time, and recently this year I read it to see if I'll love it as much as I love the TV show, and that is not the case. This is so different. A lot of the times I kind of hate going to read books that like have TV shows to something that I've already loved, because it would be, sometimes it's better. Okay, sometimes the changes are for the better, and that is unfortunate for me, because then when I read a book I want those changes to be in the book. But also if I ever want to like buy it again, I'll probably buy all 3 books. And also this has severe water damage. Like I can't do anything with this. Like, I mean, obviously I could, but I can't. The Black Sun Thief. I have a friend in the book community. He used to be a booktuber, but he does not up on booktube anymore. I don't know if you're watching this, but if you are, hello. He's not watching this, and I love his opinions. I love his reviews. I mean, I agree with almost everything that he has to say on Goodreads, and so he loved this book, so I was like, I love this book. I literally started this book. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. I have no interest. I just don't care. I don't care. And sometimes that's okay. Sometimes when you buy a book, you are super into it. You're like, this is going to be my next favorite book. You put it on your shelf. You read a bunch of other books. A year or 2 passes, and then you're like, I don't care. Sometimes that happens, and that is okay. One of those books where it's like people just give me things. Don't know where I got this from. I surely didn't buy it. I can tell you that. I think this was given to me by a friend who used to just give me her books that she didn't want. And at the time I used to be like, oh my gosh, she's so kind for like giving, because she would send me like a book that an arc of a book that I really wanted that she's already read, and then she would also send me a bunch of like books that like she didn't want. And like at the time I was like, oh my gosh, like she's such a good person, she's such a good friend. She was sending me things that she wanted to unhaul, like not even like, and like she was sending me things that she didn't want. Not, oh my gosh, I think my Anna's gonna love this. No, I don't want this book anymore, I'm gonna give it to my Anna. This book is all types of fucked up because of my cat. And also, as of right now, I have no interest in reading this. Like, as of right now. I might in the future, and maybe I'll read it on my phone and then buy it or whatever, but right now, she doesn't care. I read a lot of the Fear Street books last summer, and I loved it. But I just didn't love this one, so it's just to go. So next I'm gonna do some book of the month books. So the first book that I have is Instructions for Dancing. I love Nicola Yoon. I loved her other 2 books, but I just don't think that this book is about me. Okay, it just doesn't sound like something that I'm interested in, to be honest. Like, I don't know. The Dating Plan. For this book, everyone's just like, oh, it's so cute, and I just want something that like I'm gonna love, especially because I believe this one is fake dating, and I'm just so tired and done with fake dating. So if I'm gonna get one, I need it to be amazing. Don't Cry for Me. I just don't remember what this is about. It's fairly short though, but yeah. Also, with these book of the month books, these were all given to me when I worked with book of the month like 3 years ago, so don't think that like I bought these with my own money, because I didn't. A River Enchanted. I did not like Divine Rivals. Like, there's such a popular book in the book community, but I just didn't like it. I just thought the book was like very boring, and I felt like it focused too much on the romance and not about the fantasy. And other people were saying like this book is similar, and that's just not something that I want. I don't know why I'm not interested in this. I just am not. Like, sorry. I read this book, I believe this year actually, and it just really made me sad that these two dads were like super homophobic to their gay sons, and like they thought that like trying to avenge their gay sons would like, I don't know, I just didn't like their gay sons, like they had lives, like they were fathers. Their fathers didn't come to their wedding, didn't come to their accomplishments, like didn't even visit their daughter that they had, like their granddaughter that they had. And it just made me so upset, like these two extremely homophobic people now like trying to be vengeful of their sons, but it's like you didn't care for them when they were alive. And it really hurt knowing that. Like, I don't know, I just couldn't, like I don't, it's just not for me. This book I guessed the plot twist to, and it just wasn't that great. The Chestnut Man. I'm just not really into these type of books, these type of thrillers. Like when I got this book, the reason why I kept this book is because I thought that I was into like these type of thrillers, but like this, like the Whisper Man, they're just not for me. Like, sorry. It Happened One Summer. I read this for a book club that I had about 2-3 years ago, and I just don't care for it. I love Schitt's Creek and I love Alexis, but and I love the way this character was written. I feel like she really was similar to Alexis in a good way, but the romance itself, like I just didn't like how the main character talked to him. And like it wasn't terrible, but it just wasn't like amazing. And I think everyone hyped it up, and then I think if I would have read it without like all the hype, I would love it, but I just don't. Sunny Disposition. I thought I was gonna love this book, which is why I bought it. It's about a black girl and a hockey player. Like, duh, I've been wanting black girls in hockey for a very long time, but this one just was not that great. Like, it wasn't bad, it was a 3-star read. And I think for me, this author is just a 3-star type of author. Like, I've read a lot of her books, and she just doesn't really do like angst. And that's something I really look for in my romances, is angst. And she doesn't really do angst. Like, her books are like very like sweet and fluffy, and it's just not for me, babes. I need like angst. Like, even her enemies to lover, her academic rivals to lovers book, like they got over the academic rivals like part like very fast, and I was like, okay. The idiot. I read this book. This is when I was in my like era of annotating, where I don't annotate books unless it's a reread. So I haven't annotated a book in a long time. The last time I annotated a book was a year ago when I read If We Were Villains. But yeah, so this was when I tried to like annotate books based on first read, because I really liked this book when I was reading it, and I thought I could be like one of those annotating girls. I'm not. I need to read. I'm a critical reader, so the chances of me like loving a book is so like low. My rating on Google is like a 3.31 rating, and so I need to wait until I finish a book before I annotate it. Like, that's just the kind of person I am. And when I first started this book, I was loving it. I was obsessed with it. I related so much to it. I related to the main character, and then we get to like the second half of the book, and everything went downhill for me, and I just can't. So I don't know if you can tell, but like up here there's so many tabs, and then once you get down here there's like 4. Like, The Sundown Motel, I just don't really care for it necessarily. Filthy Rich Fae, I'm not a romantic girly, so I don't think I'm gonna like this. I also have Filthy Rich Vampire, and I am gonna give it a try, but oh shit, this one comes out. This one just came out. But yeah, I think I'm gonna give it a try, but I'm not a romantic girly. Five Broken Blades, not a romantic girly. Like, just said that. Outlander, I have started this book a million times. I just can't really get into it, and I don't know why. And then I start watching the TV show, and I was like, what is this show about? And like, no one ever tells me what this show is about. I'm starting to think that no one knows what this show is about. And so far it's about this like couple, and I don't want to read that for read about this 500 pages every single book for like 8 to 10 books about one particular couple who can time travel. That sounds so boring. Like, I'm not gonna lie. One of my friends did say that this is basically like Doctor Who fan fiction, and I just got into Doctor Who last year, and I love Doctor Who, but I'm not even seeing, like, I'm sorry, I'm not. This I don't even know why I bought this. I think I just bought it because it said Alchemist, and I love alchemy, but I just don't think I like it, to be honest. I don't think I love it. The ratings on Goodreads are super low. I read it and I didn't love it, therefore I'll be getting rid of it. Me and my friend, I've tried to read this book multiple times, and me and Trey actually tried to buddy read this book, and then one day he was like, I don't want to read this, and I was like, you know what, I don't either. This also has severe water damage, but I just feel like it reads very YA, even though it's adult or new adult, and that's fine, but it's just like, I don't know, I just tried to get into it and I can't. I tried multiple times, so it's just not for me. The City We Became. I read this book. I really enjoyed it, and I like the second book, but I don't see myself buying the second book. And even though I enjoyed this book, like, at a certain point, like, second book was like really dreadful to read, so now when I look at this book I just feel like dreadful. So, and The Year of the Witching, I've unhauled this book in the past, but that was when I used to keep my books in the basement, and I don't do that anymore. I can't. So I actually have to like unhaul the books that I unhaul now. And so I reread this one because I was like, oh, maybe, like, I don't know, I just wanted another chance because I just want to read it again because I want to love it. Like, I do that a lot, like, where I want to love a book so I'll read it again. It's just not for me. I've learned that. Okay. A bunch of arcs were sent to me in the past, and this was one of them for some reason. Behind Her Eyes. I read this I think last year, and it was fine. It's just like I'm not really a big thriller person, and I didn't love it. So if I'm gonna be keeping thrillers, I'm gonna keep thrillers that, like, I really loved and enjoyed, or I'm gonna get rid of them. So I also read Cabin at the End of the World around the same time that I read Behind Her Eyes, and I just didn't love this one. I do love The Pallbearers Club by Paul Tremblay, which a lot of people don't, but I loved it. And I read that one first and then read this one, and I expected them to be similar, and like somewhat they are, but I just don't care about this book. I just didn't care about this book. I thought I was gonna love it. It's been such a highly talked about book in the book community for so long. Like, I think this book was talked about before I even joined BookTube, and so I was really excited to read it, and I was just like very let down. Like, it was a fine book, but I was definitely let down. I just don't have any interest in reading the death of Jane Lawrence. Like, when I look at it, I'm like, I'll get to it later. And I've been thinking that for years now. And I think with the reviews, like, it was just like very like subpar reviews, and I just don't see myself loving it. I am finally gonna get rid of the Atlas 6. I was holding on to this one because I love the cover, but I gave this book 3 stars, and that was me being nice. I don't see myself continuing on because I saw the terrible reviews for the last book, and this has such a beautiful cover, and I own the original paperback as well, and I will be keeping that. Like, sorry, this cover is so stunning, but it's like, no, I have to get rid of it. A Slow Burning Fire. So when I used to work at Target, I would just buy books when I was there, just to buy them. Like, not like, I would just buy books, and then I would start them on my 30-minute break, and I would come home and I would read them. But like, this was one of the books where I like started it, and like I came home and I read something completely different, so it should have been a sign that I got rid of it. But this also doesn't really have like the best reviews, so I think I'm just gonna get rid of it. The Last House on Neela Street. I read this one for my book club, and I didn't love it. Everyone else liked it. I didn't love this book, therefore I don't really see myself keeping it. Eight Will Fall. This, I think I got this like in a box or something, or I don't think I spent my own money on this, but it's a standalone. It doesn't seem like something I like. I'm not gonna hold you up. Like, it's YA fantasy sci-fi maybe. I'm not gonna love it. I'm not gonna like it. Vita Nostra. I did read this book. I really enjoyed it. Well, I enjoyed it. I gave it 3 stars, but this book was kind of boring in the end. Like in the beginning, it was like very, very good, but then it fell flat. And I hate that. Like I always, like when I'm reviewing books, I'm like, oh, this book was boring. Oh, this book was boring. But it's like I don't know what else to say. Like nothing happened like towards the end of the, like towards a chunk of this book, and so it's like it started off so great, and then it kind of just like, at least that's how it went for me. And so yeah, I'm gonna give, I don't want it anymore. And then Black Sun, which I read this year and I enjoyed it, but I don't see myself continuing on with the series. I'm not a very big series reader, as we all know. I'm not good at finishing series. The only time I'm good at finishing series is if I'm obsessed with it and I binge it all in one go. And I just don't see myself ever coming back to the series. I don't like the other covers, if I'm being real, or at least the second one. I don't remember how I feel about the last one, but I just don't see myself finishing this series. I don't really like, I'm not like obsessed with any of the characters. I'm not like obsessed with anything going on here. And it's like, it's good and I do recommend it, but it's not, I just really have to be harsher about what I'm keeping because I don't have a lot of space. And so unfortunately, like, she gotta go, like, you know. But yeah, that's it for this video. I'm so proud of I'm usually really harsh when it comes to book unhauls, but within the past like 2 years I really didn't need to be harsh because I was only unhauling like books that I've read that I didn't love, and now I can like get back to doing that because I don't really see any books that like I'm like, oh, I want to get rid of. I try not to get rid of books that were gifted to me, so I really hope that none of these were gifted to me because I mean they didn't have any like papers in them, because I usually keep my papers in them, so hopefully they weren't gifted to me. But if they were, I'm so sorry. These books just are not serving me anymore. And yeah, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.